This is one of the stupidest setups to a fight I've encountered in this game, and that's after beating the Karen and following Philippa Eilhart through the mist. I was stuck following an owl butt for about 2 days. Every time you die during this phase of the quest, you start back before a cutscene, and you can't skip that bit with Selkirk dueling the other Wraith at the beginning, which is annoying as hell. I'm gonna give you a little spoiler, I didn't win the battle the time you're seeing, I just got tired of trying for victory footage. I got enough to show you what I'm talking about, and that's all I need. So we start out fighting these 3 assholes, and I've spent so much time with them by now that we're on a first-name basis. The guy with the shield is called the Stinker, the one with the longsword is called the Viper, and the one with the arming sword and no shield is called the Squire. Okay, first things first. Block. You're going to want to tape down the key on your keyboard or the button on your controller. Every time you block an incoming strike, the Wraith that made it is thrown off balance. When they're off balance, they can't attack you. With there being 3 of them, you almost never get an opportunity when all of them are knocked back like that. But it does happen. And there actually is a rhythm to it, and if you follow this system, you will eventually get through. I stress, eventually. What you want to do is keep your eyes on Stinker, the Wraith with the shield. I noticed early on that he takes almost twice as long as the other 2 to recover after being blocked. In order to strike while all 3 are off balance, you need to wait for a sequence where Stinker strikes first, followed by the other 2. Notice, not right after he attacks, but after a sequence where he is the first to attack. This is very important. He bumps, they bump, you bump, rinse, repeat. What you're going to notice about the Squire, that is the one with the arming sword and no shield, is that he goes down much more easily than the other 2. His attacks deal the least damage, which sometimes allows you to stay standing after he hits you, but they still pack a wallop. I think it's best to focus him down first, because reducing the fight from a 1v3 to 1v2 is going to make the rest a little bit less scream-inducing. After that, I generally try to go for the Viper, but which of these other 2 you go for second is up to you, and to some extent depends on how that particular run turns out. You only deal like 1 hit point of damage per swing to these guys, so if you can get in 2 fast attacks after your block, it will speed things up a little bit. After you've killed 2 of the 3, which will happen eventually, it becomes 1v1, and while it's still not easy, that is a little bit less difficult. Focus him down, never let up on the block button, hit twice for every time you stagger him, and he'll go down eventually. Now here is potentially the most frustrating part of the battle. If you run ahead like Leroy Jenkins, you'll end up fighting all 4 of these guys at once. What you want to do is walk slowly forward until one of them notices you, and then run back to your favorite sweet spot. This should enable you to lure them up one by one so you don't have to fight them all at once. Every guide I found online said to riposte if you've got it. Over the course of many failures, I have come up with a very important tactical conclusion. Don't do that here. Failing now in the middle really hurts, and many of the times I did so were because I tried to riposte 1v1 and failed. Don't bother, it's not worth it. You have a strategy in place, stick to it. It will not let you down. That said, it actually will let you down because despite never letting up the block key, the Wraiths will sometimes hit you without logical explanation. Seriously, sometimes you don't even hit the attack button and they'll still just drop you in 1 hit. It's very frustrating. Anyway, this half-hour attempt was a failure, but those are the tactics I used to finally get by this section, and now I don't ever have to sully my hands with it again, because although I remain determined to beat the game once on dark mode, there is no way in hell I'm ever going back to it. If ever I replay the game, it will be on some easier difficulty setting. Hope you enjoyed the video more than you did looking for it. Let me know down in the comments if you want me to make one showing how to beat the Draug boss in the next section, but by comparison to this fight, it's pretty quick and easy. I would say like and subscribe, but I don't make much content, so don't bother. See ya!